Our next reader is Kelly Thomas. Kelly Thomas recently moved to San Francisco from Oregon. She spends her time working for the West Marin Review and collaborating with her dreamboat of a photographer boyfriend. She also teaches cooking, crafts, and yoga, among other things, to middle schoolers who inspire her with their weirdness. Please join me in welcoming Kelly.
Milton sits on a ledge in an alley lined with bricks. He is eating a spicy kimchi burrito from the diner around the corner, smoothing the foil onto the toe of his sneaker with his fingernail as he eats. In the alley, he is still touching his house, he could say to his mother. A girl walks by and stops and looks at Milton. "Oh my," she says. She picks up a can from the other side of the alley that has gathered the wetness of the morning fog and lets one single drop of water fall onto Milton's shiny toe. The drop holds itself tightly, perky and reflective. "Now isn't that pretty?" she says. Milton and Miss Monica move to a bench in the oval-shaped park, and he takes her small wavy dog on his lap. He is no longer touching his house, but he is touching his park. He is entirely surrounded and protected by his park and the oval-shaped road that touches the oval-shaped sidewalk that touches his house. "What I would like," Monica said, staring at herself in Milton's toe, "is if gravity changed and a steady spray of blueberries could descend into the alley from your rooftop." She looks up at Milton's building. "Like pebbles, or like penguins, like tennis balls flying pop, pop, pop out of those shooty things." "But where would they come from?" Milton says. "Well, where does the wind come from?" "The wind comes from the air," Milton says, running his fingers down the slopes of the dog's ears, which he has positioned over the dog's eyes. Milton has never felt anything softer, and it makes his stomach sway. "Pockets of air just gather up some wind and push it around? That doesn't make any sense at all." Monica sounds bored and annoyed. "I bet a stupid fat blueberry wouldn't even fall off. To fall off, a wind like a hurricane would have to come up behind it and cup up under it." "Not if they have leaves sticking up into the wind," Milton says. "Leaves like little sails. Let's go," she says. They walk to a corner store with a small stage of vegetables and fruit out front. Milton thinks that the vegetables look especially green. A carton of blueberries sits at the bottom. Monica picks them up and puts them into Milton's hands. Unlike the crisp vegetables, the blueberries have collapsed into each other a little, their bruised surfaces cushioning the others. A mist of white fuzz coats one corner. It is early spring, the time of mandarins, not blueberries. "Can I have one of these, please?" Monica says to the man behind the counter. "You could," the man says, "or I could make you pay for them." Monica kicks at the counter. "Jim!" A voice comes from behind the counter. It is someone that Milton can't see, sitting in a chair watching a TV that Milton can hear. "Don't be a dick. Nobody's going to buy those moldy piles." "Fine, take it." Milton moves behind Monica as she turns the door to leave without saying thanks. He walks carefully, landing only on the heel of his tilted right foot to keep the foil intact. When they reach Milton's roof, they agree that these soft berries wouldn't blow off, even with sails. They are squat, balanced in their heavy centers. Milton picks up a berry whose skin slips off to float between his thumb and forefinger. Its insides, a veiny sphere of translucent green, slops to the ground. He looks at Monica. "We will have to flick them off," she says. She sounds excited. From the roof, they can see dark clouds on the other side of the city that seem to send wind in their direction. It smells like rain mixed with sun. Milton loves being home while his mother is at work, especially on a Friday afternoon just before the night chills the city. They rip the carton in half and split up the contents. Monica begins on the opposite edge behind Milton. They move at the same pace and will meet at the back edge above the alley. Milton hasn't quite reached Monica before he flicks the first berry. He watches, unmoving, as the skin and its middle land together in a bent tin can that holds a small pool of dew. There is no splash. The can rocks side to side just barely. A weak blueberry in collision with brief surface tension and then thin tin makes absolutely no sound. A smile stretches across Milton's face. He turns to Monica and urges her to begin. They run to the ends of their lines, then start together. Their fingernails send the berries flying, splatting. Unseen, Milton's foil blows off the other side of the roof. They meet in the middle, breathing hard. Monica gets on her knees and leans her head over. Milton is scared, but seeing only the back of Monica's head pushes him to kneel. His arm against hers, he lowers to his stomach and lets his head peek over the edge. Their heads above the alley where they met, they take deep breaths together. Milton feels his head in the air, not falling but unanchored. They stay like that until the sky turns wispy pink. Their eyes rest on the splatted line of dots below them. On each tiny sidewalk landing pad, a purple puddle stains. Thank you.